House Republicans have put forth a plan of their own to get businesses hiring again. Here to tell us all about it, Congresswoman Renee Ellmers from North Carolina. Congresswoman, welcome. Tell us how your district fared in the wake of Hurricane Irene.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we did sustain some flooding. Unfortunately, we had 2 fatalities in my district, which of course is the most devastating part. But the majority of my district fared well. It's really our coastal areas. Our thoughts and prayers are going out to any of those families who have been affected.
Well, I know it's been a tough time for a lot of people, particularly in North Carolina, and I agree, our thoughts and prayers with them. Let's talk about job creation, though, for a second, and that would make a lot of people all over the country happy right now. Here's what Eric Cantor had to say about this focus on job creation. He's giving his ideas to the GOP. What we're looking to do as we return to Washington next week is to focus on how to stop the federal government from making it so difficult for small business people to create jobs. So what's the plan?
The plan is, since day one, since we've been in the House, we have passed piece of legislation after piece of legislation to cut back on regulation, keep our tax code in some kind of a simplified fashion, which is something we will be concentrating on. We understand that it's the size of government that is really putting up a barrier to our business owners. And when they're fearing what's around the corner, this is why we're not creating jobs. The answers are in the private sector. It's not going to come from Washington. Washington only creates more government jobs. We understand it's the private sector that needs to do this. And if we can just pull back on all that government in our businesses' lives, we can hire again. We can create jobs.
All right.
And it's up to our private sector to do it, and we can help them.
We know that the president gets criticized a lot for not having created enough jobs. Unemployment rate at 9.1%, a lot of, anger really over the situation with jobs. But in reality, what can the White House actually accomplish? I mean, let's be fair here. The White House has a lot of power, but it can't force CEOs to expand the numbers of people they bring on board.
Well, again, let's look at everything that's been put in place since the president took office. We put in place his health care plan, which so many of our business owners now say, we just simply can't afford this. I spoke with a business yesterday that said, if we just move forward on what has been put in place with the health care bill, I will be out of business in 5 years.
Right.
These are the things that our businesses are planning for in the future, and they just understand that it's not sustainable. So we've got to pull back on all that regulation. We've got to put in place our tax code. We've got to simplify it. We've got to broaden the base. We've got to make it good again for our businesses.
Well, Obama hinting here at what he's going to say next week about jobs. Here's the president.
Next week, I will be laying out a series of steps that Congress can take immediately to put more money in the pockets of working families and middle-class families, to make it easier for small businesses to hire people, and all the other measures that can help to grow this economy.
So a lot of these kinds of things we've heard before, frankly. Infrastructure, we hear that over and over and over again. Is there going to be anything new? And is there going to be anything that's, the left is screaming for something big. They want a big, big, big plan. Are they going to get it?
Well, the thing is if what we're talking about is another stimulus package, my answer is no. There's not going to be another stimulus package because the first one failed miserably. In fact, the president himself came to Durham, North Carolina, and laughed and joked about how the shovel-ready projects weren't so shovel-ready after all. That is the last thing we need right now. What we need to do, again, is pull back on the regulation. We have got to get a tax code in place that our businesses can really work with, and we can bring business back that has left the United States.
Congresswoman, let me ask you. I keep hearing, repeal regulations and change the tax code. Where are the details? How do you want to change the tax code very specifically?
Specifics I can't give you. What I can tell you are the goals that we would like to reach. The goals we would like to reach is to broaden the base, make it simplified. Our tax code is out of control. Year after year, it costs our businesses thousands and thousands of dollars just to be able to adhere to the new regulations that could get put in place. We need a simpler system. And these are the things that we're going to be striving for. You know, we talk about businesses leaving. They can't even bring their money back into the United States without being, you know, assessed a 35% tax to bring money back into the United States. So these are the things that are impeding the growth that we need. We understand it's the private sector that's going to turn this economy around. And if Washington pulls back, and we can do it, you know, I would encourage your viewers to go to gop.house.gov and just see all of the pieces of legislation that we've already passed in the House.
Before you go, Congresswoman, interesting op-ed today out from a woman who runs MIT and is begging for basic research dollars to assist business so that they can hire advanced manufacturing people, so they can expand the number of people who do this kind of advanced manufacturing. I got to say, I looked at that and I thought, there are lots of companies that have more money on their books than the Treasury has. So why are we looking to the public sector to invest in basic research?
Well, there you have it. Look, I can tell you about the research that I've done. Every day that I have talked with business owners, they have told me exactly what it is that's holding them back from hiring, and it's uncertainty. They just simply fear what's around the corner. What we should be doing is embracing what's around the corner so our business owners can grow, so that we can prosper. It's a domino effect.
Well, we got a long way to go. 9.1% unemployment. There's a lot of work to do. Congresswoman Ellmers, thanks for your help today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerry. It's been good talking with you again.